Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for clicking play on this. It's the latest episode of Inside FM on FM TV, and it's all about fantasy draft this time. Now, I'll be honest from the outset, I've started up a draft. I've had a look at how you go about bidding, getting players in, scouting them, adding to your shortlist, and then drafting them. Never actually completed the draft mode. Never really sunk more than 5 minutes into it, to be honest. Mainly because when I'm playing FM, it's generally to progress the save that I'm doing on YouTube. I don't generally play other saves, and for me, fantasy draft I think needs to be one that you play with friends online and things like that. And it is something I'm looking to get into in FM18. I know there's a lot of content creators in the community who want to start doing them, and I will definitely look into joining them this time around. But this will be a totally new thing for me. I'm looking forward to it. The screens in the early video looked quite good, so let's see what they have to say about the fantasy draft in FM18. If I can get it to play. There we go. Here we go then. Here's our mate Joe. I do love this presentation. That's good.
My name is Joe Tomlinson, and today we're talking about fantasy draft. Fantasy Draft, Football Manager's most innovative multiplayer mode, returns in Football Manager 2018 with a slicker, cleaner look, and is loaded with more gameplay options for you to prove your managerial ability against your mates.
More gameplay options,
The premise of Fantasy Draft is simple. You and your mates each assemble a squad from a pool of players, with each player getting one draft pick per round, and then pitting them against each other in a league or cup format.
Nothing changed there
then. Of course,
then.
if you prefer to test yourself against the AI, then you can compete against a host of celebrities and familiar...
Okay, so these are the AI managers, are they then? So okay, so you've got Dr. Benji and Work the Space, Kesey Renzi in there, Golden FM and Chesnoid. So you've got a selection of AIs there. That's a little bit different, I think, to last time.
Community and the world of football in an offline, single-player fantasy draft. So let's take a look at what's new in the mode for 2018.
Let's do that.
Possibly the biggest change for fantasy draft this year is that you can now play multiple seasons in the league's format. So you can take your mates on season after season.
That's really
good
idea.
As mid-term drafts in all competitions, which you can think of as your very own fantasy draft transfer windows.
I like that. That is really good.
If your mates wants to join an existing fantasy draft in the next season, you can. So you're not restricted to just the starting managers.
Oh wow, that is really good.
The Knockout Cup has changed a bit too, as two-legged ties have now been added. But the first thing you'll notice is the new user interface.
Okay, so just before they go on to the UI, that's really good. The fact that you can now play just continuously, season after season, I think that is fantastic, especially for streamers and content creators on YouTube. Because if you're always playing with the same group of friends, you can do a regular series and you can just carry on, and you can even do a cup one there as well, which would be brilliant. The addition of 2 legs is fantastic as well, I think, and the fact that you can jump in. So if you wanted to jump in with a new community that you've just become a part of, a little Facebook group or something like that, you can just jump in no matter how far down the line you are. The transfer window as well, that's pretty cool. So it's looking like fantasy draft is making some big leaps forward. As I said, I've never played it really, but this looks like something that I could definitely get on board with.
The new layout is more streamlined than in previous versions and gives fantasy draft a very different feel to the rest of Football Manager. The whole thing has been designed with streaming in mind. For example, the in-game icons have moved to the top and centre to give stream...
Okay, so he's said there, hasn't he, that it's been designed with the streamer in mind and content creators in general, not just streamers. I know a lot of people, it's very popular for streaming, isn't it, the draft? But that's really good. It's basically a game within a game now, isn't it?
Maximum amount of space to work inside the centre of the screen. The player profile screens have been reworked
really nice.
too, and only feature information that is pertinent to fantasy draft, such as their position, role, attributes, and star.
Okay, yeah, so it's not taken up by, there's no space taken up by contracts and values and how he rates against the rest of your team. It's just purely his stats, his positions, his roles. That is it, and it just does the job, doesn't it? It looks fantastic. It really does.
Rating. Speaking of players, you'll now be able to see a graphic depiction of your squad size and depth in each position during the draft process. It's not just the interface that has been reworked for FM18, there are now more options when setting up a fantasy draft too. For starters, you can now head into a fantasy draft game quicker than ever before with the new Quick Start option, which finds an existing online fantasy draft and adds you to it. And for a really quick start, you can now get help with the draft itself by using the auto pick option, where the AI will choose players for you based on your formation, favoured club and nationality. If you'd prefer to...
That'd be quite interesting, wouldn't it? That'd be a good little series. So you could do it as both players do, just let the AI pick their team for them and then go at it with the squad you get given. I quite like the idea of that. And that would also work for something like the FM Cup, wouldn't it? That they had a few months ago. That would be good for that. You could just go through an auto pick and that would work.
Fantasy draft yourself, then you'll find a wealth of setup options that help tailor the fantasy draft experience to you. For instance, there are more increments between the minimum and maximum squad budget, and that maximum budget has been doubled from 250 million to 500 million pounds, meaning you'll be able to draft one of the world's top players into your squad. Another exciting addition are player pools. These allow you to customise the pool of players that you and your competitors draft from, and allow you to filter the draft pool by such conditions as nationality, value and specific divisions.
Nice.
These can also be uploaded or downloaded via the Steam Workshop.
Oh, that's really, really good. So you could do just a totally non-league one, or you could do one just the best of the championship or best of League One, that sort of thing. Absolutely brilliant. There's so much depth being added to it.
Of course, you can stick with the default world pool if you prefer. Finally, the fantasy elements of Fantasy Draft have come into play more than ever before. In a radical change to how things work in the real world, the element of time has been removed, so your players won't age.
Nice.
Better still, removing time from Fantasy Draft means that injuries are now calculated in match days rather than weeks or months.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
Keep an eye out for more episodes of FM
Okay, so that's the end.
For more information
nice little short, snappy video again.
Visit footballmanager.com.
So it's really, that looks really good, doesn't it? I'm a lot more excited for Fantasy Draft than I was coming into this video. There's so much being added there. Even from what limited knowledge I have of it, it just looks like a whole game on its own. It almost could have been sold as a game. There's so much in there. The fact that you can narrow it down to the division for the player pool, the fact that you can jump into an existing online save, for the fact that you can set up a draft and then someone can join it a few seasons in, the fact that you can do multiple seasons, it's going to be huge fantasy draft going forward. I think it's almost like a bit like games like Call of Duty and things they started out as single player campaigns and then have become more and more about the multiplayer, haven't they? And this year FM18 is going to be huge for the draft. I think there's going to be so much streaming, so much YouTube based around the fantasy draft because it looks absolutely amazing. FM18 is going to be a huge leap forward for the series, and I cannot wait. The beta is almost on us. I cannot wait. Hopefully there's a couple more episodes of FM TV. Still praying for a training overhaul, and obviously we want to see something about gameplay, and that would be about it really, and then the rest be left for us to find out. But guys, thank you so much for watching this little reaction video. Don't forget to hit that like button, as that really helps the channel grow. Subscribe if you're new. Get ready for FM18. I will be putting a video up soon detailing my plans for the beta save. And thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you very soon. Bye bye.